Listening to your song and hearing those lyrics, like I could tell how emotional you were when singing it. And the question I have for you is listening to that was very emotional to kind of get through. How did you feel on your end singing it?
Um, Honestly, that song is really hard to sing sometimes because it all depends on the feeling. Like, I'm not gonna lie, when I sang that in the studio, I felt very like triumphant. Like I felt like that's what Turn the Page is about. That's why when I was gonna have the original idea to release the EP, I wanted it to call it Turn the Page because I'm turning the page on this certain thing of life. And I actually wasn't gonna call the song Turn the Page, but it really is. Like I'm trying to leave that behind me. And like kind of a cool story about it is like if you listen to the start, like you might think that I'm just like saying lyrics just to kind of rhyme things, but like literally, dude, like I would never bullshit the story. It's always the same thing every time I tell people when they ask about the song. It was Canada Day, and it was 3 or 4 years ago, and maybe 2 years ago. I don't know. It's really hard to remember, but anyways, around 3 years ago, maybe. And I was sitting by myself on Canada Day, and me and some friends, older friends, kind of had like a rough go, and we just lost our buddy. It was on March 10th, and we he died. He kind of moved away and everything. So like it was really hard because I felt like I lost connections with him, and lots of other things, not to just like put this song on him, but that's where the lyric like losing friends kind of comes from. And in a more so way, and just growing old and growing out of those old friendships that you had too, because you lose touch, you get different interests, whatever. But me and Andy always had like a really good appreciation for each other, and I wasn't as close as some people. There's lots of people that were closer to Andy, and same the other way too. And but this song I wrote, I was sitting in the car, I drove up on the beach in my car, and I'm sitting there and I start writing the song because I just felt so alone. I didn't have any like invites to go do anything on Canada Day. Maybe nothing was really going on that day too. Who knows? But I was all like in the dumps, ooh, poor me type of thing. And I was all lonely, and I just felt shitty. So that's where the story setting kind of starts. Like the tires hit the sand. I contemplate myself again. And then the fog covered glass makes the memories last. Is the water, dude, was like, it was glass. It was no waves, nothing going on.
Wow.
Something with like the weather changing made it super foggy. So it was the fog covered glass makes the memories last. And then not a cloud in the sky, not a star in the sky, clouds cover up the moonlight. So like it was so overcast, there's no moonlight. It was so dark and just like eerie. And
Oh.
so I'm literally just speaking the truth. And then it's like people walk past, fireworks blast through the night because it was Canada Day, fireworks going crazy. People were walking past. I was on like, I think it's the south end. I was by Lone Wolf, anyways, on in Sable Beach, right around the corner from my place. And people were just walking past, and I'm like, here I am, just sitting in the car, being a fucking weirdo, and just writing this song. And then the next part goes, and I was like, as I remember what it's like when everything felt so right. And then um, I'm having trouble. It's hard to, when you're talking your lyrics like that, it's hard to remember which ones come next when you're not singing. But basically, like the next scene, I'm pulling a beer from my back seat and drinking a beer. I was just planning on. I was like, "Fuck it, I'm getting hammered. I got a 2-4 Brava in the back seat. I'm getting fucking hammered tonight." And I was not. It was not a fun time. So it was me taking a very vulnerable night and making and turning it into something great and something like actually making like that hardship worth something, and like kind of turning it into something. And that chorus, I think the biggest line for me that I want to kind of talk about is like, I was so naive, and like just that kind of line there is just like being young at 20 and being naive and thinking like you can change so many things, but really you don't have a lot of control of a lot of things. And it's a really shitty feeling when you realize that you don't. And you just feel very naive. You feel like misled, and you're taking pages from different books. And what I mean by that is like, I took pages from my influences, like my dad, my like people who influenced me and who have taught me how to live, because I'm seeing this finished product, but you don't see what made them into the person that they are now. You don't see what made your dad your dad. You don't remember that. You're not like, you don't remember shit when you're younger. You definitely don't remember shit before you were born. So like you don't see all like the hardships that people go through. You're just seeing the finished products, and what they're showing you is the finished product. And so for me, that was kind of like doing a job that was very close to my dad's job, just like trying to be like different people. But then you realize like you just need to kind of be yourself. And I need to turn the page on feeling shitty about myself, and like just need to get on with it. And for that reason, the third verse was like feeling shitty,
Mm-hmm.
like I wish that this would end. I want to be happy again, like kind of talking how I'm actually feeling rather than setting a scene. And then the fourth verse, or the fourth like little build up part, was my favorite,
Mm.
100%. Like when I was just a kid, not a worry in the world, having fun with friends, running away from all the girls, all my summers off with no bills to pay, getting spoiled at grandma's house when I was there to stay. And then like you're never like breaking hearts, you're not getting your heart broken. Um, riding your bike just for something to do, like it's reminiscing, like, and it's like such a, I tried to end this song on like a good note, and like remembering like this is what made you and the person you are today. So like get out of your shitty feelings and turn the page and like just get out of it. And so that's why that part of the song is super like, I kind of changed my mood, and like kind of like I'm happy because it's a happy reminiscing. So yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to keep it like quick. I feel like I ramble on about
No, no, no,
something,
no. It's
but
all good. Yeah, I actually wanted to talk to you about the lyrics because I haven't pulled up right here. I mean, my favorite part of the song. I feel like this was really raw. Was your third verse when you said, "I wish that this would end. I want to be happy again. I keep a smile on my face, not to worry family and friends. I could talk to anyone, but it never seems to help me through without a worry in the world, and it's catching up with me like you."
mhm.
Could you like kind of walk me through that? Because that is a lot to digest. You said, "I wish that this would end. I want to be happy again."
Yeah, like it was a lot of like, I wouldn't say, I don't want to go like, I wouldn't say that I've ever really had like real like big suicidal thoughts or anything like that, and that anything, but like you kind of, when you're down on yourself, you kind of sit there and you wonder like, what would my funeral look like? What, like, are people going to be, would people be really sad? Like, have I made an impact on people's lives? Have I touched people in the way that I want to, like, in their lives? And like, am I a good friend? Am I a good brother? Am I a good son? Like, those are the things that kind of go through you in those moments. And like, I just, I felt like I was so in the dumps when I wrote this song, and I just wanted like I wanted that feeling to end. And like I felt like I lost a bit of myself in ways that like I was a really happy kid. I like some like I've always been super outgoing. Anybody that knows me, they'll tell you like there's never a dull moment, whether you're laughing at me because I'm being absolutely stupid, or and saying something just ridiculous, or I'm making people laugh. Like, and that's something that like, it's so stupid because I know that. And then I feel like I'm not causing enough happiness around me in people's lives. And it's just like, it's those feelings that like am I impacting people? Like, what am I doing with, like, am I actually like making people enjoy their lives more? Like, those are the things that you should be doing as a human, and like being a good friend. And that's what makes you have good friends and build good friendships. So that was more what the happy, if, or sorry, I wish that this would end. I want to be happy again. And then, like, same thing, just like, so then the next part, um, of like, I want, or I keep a smile on my face, not to worry family and friends. And that for me is like a very big thing, because that's what we talked about, dude. Like being a man and shoving those feelings down and just trying to move on with life. And it got to a point where like I impacted my friendships in a negative way, I felt. And maybe that's just putting guilt and shame on myself again, like I said. But like I felt like with my anxieties and stuff and feeling like I'm not being that good friend. I'm not like, I'm bringing people down and I'm not bringing enough happiness. That's what it felt like, was like, I try and keep a smile on my face, but like inside my head, there's so much going on. And it just felt like it was endless. And that I just never really like, I never talked about things. So then I felt like in friendships, I just kept talking, and then I was outreaching too much, and I made it stressful on my friends that were really close to me. And that was a really rough feeling. And so then I really quieted it down after that, because I was like, I'm saying too much. Like I'm just doing that too much. And that makes you feel really shitty. So, um, so we talked about the first two, which is this would end. I want to be happy again. Keep smiling on my face, not to worry family and friends. I can talk to anyone. Okay. So talking to anybody, like you, everybody has that feeling. Like you can talk to anybody, but sometimes it feels like you can't, sometimes it feels like you can't open up, and you can't, it doesn't help. You can talk to anybody about anything and you have all these supports around you, but you're not dealing with it yourself. You're not helping yourself with that. You're just getting like this, it feels like bullshit of like, yo, you're such a good guy. Like you're, everybody loves you. And it just comes out and you take it like it's bullshit. And that's how I felt in that way of like, you're just saying that because you're biased, because you're my family or you're my friend. Like you have to, like, what else are you gonna say, you know? So it just gets to a point with that stuff. And then catching up like you, or yeah, and it's catching up with me like you, kind of, that was a little bit more of an Andy lyric. And when my buddy Andy passed, it it was kind of me saying like my whole life is catching up with me, and it's feeling like I've lost a piece of myself. Like it's feeling like I've lost someone just like you, type of thing, like how I felt with Andy. And I felt so numb. Like I honestly feel like I don't think I cried for like a year and a half or a year after Andy passed. And like one day I just like broke down and I had this like big breakdown about it. And it was good because it felt good to feel something. I felt numb for a long time. And it felt good to actually like cry about him. Because when I got told on the phone, I was so shocked. Like nobody expected it. It was a car crash. And it was a very tragic car crash. And thankfully it was just him. But yeah, it was just like nobody expected it. It was just so sudden. So it was just it was a tough situation. So yeah, that's what that little phrase or that little like verse meant, kind of thing.